It's a condition that's often misdiagnosed, if diagnosed at all. But post-traumatic stress disorder can have a devastating, lifelong impact. All week, we've been featuring some of the triggers and treatments available. Today, a look at the link between PTSD and child abuse. Roch Longueépée is taking life one step at a time.
I have physical injuries. My spine has been damaged.
The worst part of the injury is
He's teaching his body to heal, but training his mind is another matter.
One of the most chronic features is my nightmares, and those nightmares involve death, digging up graves, being chased by somebody.
For Roch, anything can be a trigger.
It can be a scent, a smell, a song, the way someone says something, the way they're dressed, the way they look.
Roch was a victim of child abuse. He spent years shuffled from orphanage to orphanage.
We were taken and beaten and thrown in either in the dirt basement or in a room somewhere for the night.
And the abuse didn't stop there. Roch was sexually abused by his brother.
He was doing this repeatedly with me. He would come out down in the middle of the night and wake me up.
Last year, Roch was finally diagnosed with chronic post-traumatic stress disorder.
It was just like a ton of bricks falling off my shoulders. It's an empowering feeling when you finally know what you're dealing with.
But living with PTSD can be a bitter pill to swallow.
The diagnosis is only the beginning. This is something I've been told by my therapist I will have for the rest of my life.
But Roch is transforming his pain into purpose. Today, he helps other victims of child abuse find their voice, in the hope they'll also find faith in their future, despite a history of hurt.
Part of my moving on has just been not thinking about it so much and just thinking about the road ahead, and that's been a challenge too.
Joining us this morning from Halifax with more is Roch Longueépée. Mr. Longueépée, first of all, thank you, certainly thank you for telling your story, because we've had an enormous amount of people who have been writing us regarding this series all week. Was it a difficult decision for you to go, I guess, public, as it were, to be able to tell your story for the first time?
This is really the first time I've done this, and for the most part, because of the work that I do, a lot of people compare their experiences to mine, and because I've had so many varied experiences and so extreme, it's a challenge, because people will compare theirs to mine and think that theirs is less than mine, and this is a condition that affects people with varying degrees of severity in abuse. So yes, it was a very difficult decision, and this was a difficult decision because it's the first time I've really come out as much as I have.
And since you were diagnosed last year, have you made some progress, or what kind of progress have you made?
Yeah, there's been a significant change over the last year, but clearly there's a long way to go. My abuse, there were so many varied forms of it, and multiple forms, and so extreme. Most therapists I've had throughout my life have broken down in sessions, have not been able to continue because there was too much, and that was also a challenge. And the majority of them don't know much about this condition, and in particular, people like me who come with the kind of history I have is also another issue. There's a lot of the public that don't know about this issue. We've heard about it in the media, but institutional child abuse is something distinctively different from other forms of abuse. And
I understand you also started an organization to help other child abuse survivors.
I have. Back a number of years ago, I started investigating Mount Herbert Orphanage, where I resided for the first 5 years of my life. I was orphaned there with my twin brother, and it was a very difficult experience at that time. But when I went online and started doing research, I was baffled at how many other organizations were actually out there doing some similar types of work on the issue. But I don't think I had any idea there were so many victims here and all over the world, and it was astounding. Millions of people everywhere.
Well, you're an inspiration with your courage and moving forward to help so many other people. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you. It's an honor.